Hi everyone, Tasha here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be using items from Maker Forte to make a fun gnome themed holiday card. Here's an example of the card we're going to be creating today. It is so cute and it has the fun gnome in this little car. The stamp set is called I'll Be Gnome for Christmas. It includes the little image and a bunch of little sentiments. I'll also be using some Color Hive ink in Eclipse Black. This one is perfect for coloring with Copic markers. And for the greeting, I decided to go with some Simple Sayings greetings from Maker Forte. They have a wide variety of themes. And then I'll be using several shades of cardstock with green, gold glitter, white, and then this double-sided printed pattern paper from Maker Forte. To begin, I'm going to start by stamping my little gnome character. I'm going to use my Misty tool. This way I can re-stamp if needed. It just makes it a lot easier, especially if you're stamping a main image. So I'm going over to my Misty tool and I'm going to stamp it with the Color Hive ink. Just make sure I get good coverage. And then I'm going to use the Smusher tool from Maker Forte. This helps with getting even pressure. I did have to stamp again just to make sure I had it nice and dark. Sometimes I don't stamp evenly. That's why I love using the Misty tool and this Smusher tool to help me with my stamping. And once I was done, that's how the little image looks. Now I'm just going to go in and start coloring. I'm just going to use some nude or light tan shades for the little gnome's face. And then I'm going to go in and start coloring the areas that are going to be red. So I really wanted this gnome to be kind of holiday themed, so I'm going to be using a lot of reds and greens. But you can make this gnome any color combination you want. He would also look really cute if you wanted to do different shades of blue or purple, but I'm just going with a red hat with red little mittens. Once I was done coloring the little gnome's hat and mittens, I went in and used the red on some ornaments and two of the red bows. I just love how this red shade looks and I thought it was really festive for the holidays. Next I went in with some yellow for the stars and the headlights of the car and then used a kind of a deeper or an orange shade just to add some highlights to make that yellow not so light. And then I went over the yellow marker again just to blend everything together. I wanted the car to be a shade of blue, so I just went in with kind of like a muted blue color and colored the whole car and a little bit of the details in the front grille. Next, I went in with a nice shade of green. This one is kind of a lighter yellow green for the Christmas tree. I just thought this lighter green color looked great, especially with the blue car and then the pops of red. After I was done with the tree, I started coloring the gifts. I'm coloring it with this kind of like a aqua or a light blue shade color. Again, you can make it any color you choose. And then I went in with some details with a darker shade of a gray just to add some shadows to the car. You want to make sure that you have a little bit of shadows. This way the car doesn't look flat. And this is how he looks when he is all completed. Once I was done coloring my little gnome image, I took it over to my little work area and then used some Distress Oxide ink in the color Seedless Preserves, and I'm going to do some ink blending around the edges. I wanted to have kind of like a spotlight look, so I went around heavy on the edges and then just blended it towards the center, leaving the center light. I kind of wanted it to seem like this gnome was driving maybe at nighttime and then it just has a bright light around him, but this way it was dark enough that we could add falling snow. And I also love the way it looks with this Seedless Preserve color for the sky. It's just really pretty. This would also look great if you wanted to use any of the shades of Distress Oxide in the blue colors. It would give the same look. So once I was done with my ink blending, I'm using a white gel pen to draw in some snowflakes or falling snow. I just made different sizes, so I made some of the snow really large and then just added little dots around it because snow comes, in all different sizes. And then you also want to remember to add snow to your character because the snow would fall on him as well. And then once I was done with the background, I just had to assemble my card. So I'm going to layer the center card right onto a piece of gold glitter paper for some extra sparkle, and then I'm going to start building up my layers. Next, I'm going with a pretty shade of green, and then I'm going to attach it to that buffalo check or that plaid pattern paper. And this paper is awesome because you can use it as is, but you can also foil it since it is a toner printed paper. So you really have endless options on your colors for this plaid design. And then I'm just adding another piece of that same green paper before attaching it to a white heavyweight card base. And I just want to make sure how I wanted the card to open. Again, since it's a square card, I could go either direction, but I decided to make it a top folding card. Lastly, I'm adding my sentiment. I decided on Happy Holidays, and I'm going to attach it to the same green cardstock. This is a great way to use up some of your scrap papers. This would also look great if you wanted to use it on a piece of scrap glitter paper. So I'm just gluing it towards the bottom. This way I just had to take it to my trimmer and trim down 2 edges. It's super easy and it's a great way to use up your scraps. Once I had it trimmed down to size, I'm just using the same glue runner to attach it to my card. Wasn't sure if I wanted it in the center, but I thought for this card it looked good being towards one side. And this is how it looks all completed. Here's my first card example and here's the second. They're slightly different, but again, they're very similar. I hope you're inspired to create a fun gnome themed holiday card. All of the items used today will be in the description box below, as well as on the coordinating blog post. I hope you guys are having a great day. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.